Hey, I'm Kelly Sue, and this is your Intuitive Cocktail for April 6th. And today, right now, the moon is in Leo, which is so wonderful for socializing, creating performance things, whatever it is that you want to do creatively that comes from the heart for you, because Leo rules the heart. This is the kind of day and tomorrow, both today and tomorrow, and it's also getting to the heart and doing the things that really matter, so keep that in mind. We've also got Mercury and Venus conjunct still, and of course Mercury is moving direct, is turning direct on the 7th, so one more day. But remember that the days before and the days after the shift, it's always a bit more frenetic. So just keep that in mind. Venus will be turning direct soon, about 6 more days, so hang in there. But they're both conjunct in Pisces. And then the moon and the sun are trine. The sun in Aries, the moon in Leo, which is nice. It's a really nice harmonious aspect for inner and outer dynamics and expressing what needs to be talked about. Maybe there's some things that you haven't been able to feel like you could say, but today's a good day to just say them. And if you need to write them out first, they have your talking points. But if you have somebody that you want to talk to that you've been kind of waiting for the right moment, today's a great moment. Even though, yes, I agree, Mercury is still retrograde, but sometimes when things are retrograde, it's still okay to get things out into the open and then go back and refine them later. And if it goes wrong, you can always just say, Mercury was retrograde. I mean, isn't that what everyone does these days? And the other thing that's happening astrologically right now is that we just have a lot of planets in Aries and Pisces. And our North Node just went retrograde. So it's at 26 degrees Pisces. So, it may be feeling kind of like we're a little bit adrift and we're waiting for things to kind of stabilize. Pisces is such a watery, it's very back and forth. It's like hard to kind of know where you're at with that. You have to really go deeper than the surface with Pisces and go down to the depths. And that's the whole trick. It's like you have to go deep. It's just like if you're snorkeling in the ocean, the waves are always, it's always. So the best way to do, when you're in the ocean, as I was saying, when you're in the ocean, and if it's a really crazy windy day, the waves are going to be wild and you're going to kind of be like, on the top and, but if you were to descend, if you were to scuba dive and descend below the surface, it's serene, it's calm down there, unless of course, you're dealing with some currents, but that's another thing. So go deep. If you have something to say to someone that matters to you, with Venus and Mercury conjunct in Pisces and the North Node turning retrograde in Pisces, kind of like, if you need to reset your direction with somebody, then go deep. Don't try to just gloss over things. Really think about what it is that you want to say to this person or what you want from this person. And then, spit it out. And so there's that, and we're still having that amazing Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, so visionary. So do some visioning, whatever that means for you. And whether that means you hike to the wisdom tree or someplace that is good for you to kind of get your endorphins going and then get your head clear and then do some visioning, or you want to go and do some ayahuasca. Whatever you need to do that thing to get a good, but wherever you're at, make sure that you're able to kind of you're going to get these moments, kind of aha moments really quickly because of the placements of Uranus also in Taurus. It's like, even though Taurus is kind of a sign that slows things down some, but it's also like, you'll still get insights. Uranus is really great in Aquarius, because it rules Aquarius, so it's got those common elements, But this is a great time to really kind of think about what it is that you want. Like, if you're making demands of someone and you're just saying, I'm not happy, I'm not happy, I'm not happy, you need to say why. And you got to know that for yourself, and what you want to be different. Otherwise, people are not going to listen to you. So think about what you want, and don't just be, it's like, we're not children throwing tantrums on the floor of, the grocery store, even though I often feel like doing that, but what do you want? Are you just completely overwhelmed and you're unhappy and so you want to scream? Or do you actually have a valid point? And also, speak for yourself and for what matters to you. Don't try to ever speak for someone else. And by the way, if you're finding this reading, this is hopefully speaking to you, because I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm just imparting information and putting it out there. So if you found it, that's why. Okay, so right now we've got the 7. We're in the 7s. This deck is so wild. And, with 7s, it's all about, they're related to the Chariot, which is the vehicle to really, that can change your life. So the 7 cards are all part of the things that can change your life. Like, what do you want? How do you want your life to be different? What do you need to focus on? And this person is definitely very focused on their vision and physically what they want. What's the 80-20? What's the thing that is going to move the needle for you and do that thing? And then we have the Hierophant, and so this is old school collective stuff. Like, what is it, the institutions? What are the the things that are like, things that you kind of almost take for granted in your life, like, usually you would say libraries, schools of higher learning, the courts, like the things that the government, things that are like usually the tried and true, the church, the things. But it's like, this is more like dogma, okay? And sometimes dogma can literally get in the way of everything, of spirituality. It can be, dogma's a heavy thing, and especially when you're running into dogma collisions, like, people's belief systems don't usually shift. People's ethics, their core values do not shift. So if you're running into things that, like, you want to change people's minds or something, then you have to find common ground and speak their language if you want to be the one to make change. Otherwise, that's never happening. Because people, when it comes to like the old school core things, people just, they're really kind of just, that's what you see is what you get with that stuff. It's very hard to change. So also, when you are dealing with people that are, like, they're very much, this is the system, this is the way that it is, this is like, and it's like that with people, when you're dealing with that kind of like an institution sort of, or people's religion, politics, whatever. The reason why people, they always say don't talk about religion and politics because it pisses people off, because it's like that hits their core. So tread carefully. And then we have the Page of Swords, which is like, we need some truth. We need our moment of truth. We need protection. We need to figure out for ourselves what's important. This is about like knowing what matters to you and what you want to, but protecting yourself too, and being protective of the people that you care about. And it's about watching your back. So like, if when you're out in the world, and it's just like having practical, being aware, situational awareness, locking your car doors when you're in your car, locking your house when you're at home. Like, it's just doing stuff that makes sense to take care of, and while everything else is kind of getting sorted, and it's like, do the things that make sense, like logical sense, because the swords are always very, they're very cerebral. So do the things that make sense for you, and don't worry so much about other people's dogma, other people's values, unless they're colliding with your own, in which case pick your battles. And if it has to do with like, what people, try to surround yourself with people whose ethics align with yours. And, I've been kind of in a place where I'm like, man, ethical people are hot. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday. Get yourself in harmony with yourself and your surroundings.